Huge things are happening on Ethereum right now. It's time to dive into all things DeFi. First thing I want to talk about is what is happening with Uniswap and the bullish narrative that's about to unfold for all of DeFi. Then I'm going to dive into my top DeFi plays that you need to know for this cycle. If you missed this massive Uniswap pump and have no idea exactly what's been happening with it, we're going to dive into exactly what's going on with their governance proposals and the changes that they're going to make which caused that massive pump. So the proposal basically is giving dividends or a piece of the pie back to the users that are staking. So for example, if you put in your Uniswap tokens and you stake them, you would actually have an opportunity to receive some of the fees that are generated, which are in the hundreds of millions of dollars. Although other protocols are already doing this, and you probably have seen me promote some of them, the difference between them and Uniswap is the biggest DeFi protocol in the whole entire ecosystem. A lot of fees and a lot of money to be made, and that gets the attention of the large-scale funds that we know of, like the BlackRocks and the TD Ameritrades, as well as the SEC itself. So if we do see something like Uniswap pass this proposal, talk to the SEC give approval for this type of dividend staking model, that could be absolutely massive, not just for Uniswap, but for all of DeFi and the ecosystem around crypto. And with all this attention and focus coming to Uniswap, it's definitely the time right now to start focusing on DeFi. So what is decentralized finance? Well, it's basically finance. So there's many different aspects of our industry that you could cover. We have restaking protocols and staking protocols on Ethereum, things like Lido, restaking protocols like Iron Layer and Yield Nest, etc. And we also have things like DEXs, lending platforms, borrowing platforms, and places where we can stake and earn. So there's a lot of different facets to what is DeFi. Today we're going to look in a couple of those areas to give you kind of a holistic view of what DeFi protocols I've been focusing on, at least for right now, and why those things are good opportunities with DeFi becoming a centerfold thanks to Uniswap. So first thing we should look at, obviously, is Uniswap. So Uniswap had this news and it exploded 50% overnight. I remember being at a party with my friend Didi from the Bitcoin family, a couple other friends, and he just looked at me and said, Coach, Uniswap just went up 50%. I'm like, why? Obviously, now we know why. This proposal came in. It's very bullish. And so Uniswap's headed towards this first level of SR level right here, around 14 bucks. So it's right now at 10. It almost went all the way to 14, went to about 12, which you can see is the top of this level right there. We're gonna likely come into that level, and then we're gonna go much higher because there's no real level of resistance, I would say, until like $29, $28. Like there's some small resistance here at like 19, but really like Uniswap could go 3x from here very quickly with this type of stuff being approved, and obviously with SEC having a positive mindset, which sometimes they don't, so we don't know for sure, but this is obviously leading the way. So some other DEXs that we're looking at, that I've been looking at, I just started looking, okay, well, if one DEX is doing well, how are the other ones? So we can see Sushi, had my zone for buying Sushi around 69-70 cents. Now it's at $1. It hit that $1.87 level, and I actually haven't even touched this chart for months. I just looked at it and opened it up the other day. That's where it's at. It has many other places that it can go much higher. So I'd be looking at Sushi, even though they've had money issues in the past. We always go back and look at what are the ones that are here and been here for a while. Now let's look at some other DEXs like DYDX. Also really mooned from the bottom, and because it doesn't have real resistance almost anywhere other than to $7, this could easily double up, triple up, and even go all the way to all-time high in this cycle, $25. It's a really good opportunity. And of course, these are blue chips. We're looking at the stuff that is lower risk first, so that you are prepared and you don't go into things that basically will put you in a bad position. Now, 1inch Exchange has had a lot of things built on it as well. Over the bear market, they've added a lot of cool tools and tips and things that you guys can do with just using a DEX. And I could see this easily 5xing from here all the way to $2.12. It would not take a lot to get it there, mainly because it just really has no resistance after it breaks about 89 cents, 90 cents. So we're looking from those levels right now for it to go about almost 2x from where it is, and it could go much higher. So those DEXs obviously look good. Now, obviously I can't cover all of them, and we're gonna cover more of these and more of the mid cap and lower cap DEXs that we'll cover those in the future. There's other ones that I've invested into that I'd like to tell you about, but those are the DEXs that I'm watching first because they're the first mover advantage, have been here for the longest. Next up, what lending and borrowing platforms are mainly used. We have AAVE, we have Comp, we have Curve. So let's go to AAVE. AAVE's had a really nice run up from the bottom. I was talking about this $50. It's basically doubled from that. It has a large amount of opportunity for growth. So we could see this at least 5x this cycle. AAVE is one of the biggest protocols there are, and we just need to see it break 115, and this thing's going to 186. Compound had a lot of hacks and things, bad things happen to it. But because of that, it has a higher upside once it's last in the cycle. And now it's above this level at 66. Now the next level is $100, and the next one above it is really at 185. Now that's a bigger opportunity than AAVE, so that's something to keep in mind. And also, its all-time high was $900, so this could easily 10x and get back to not even its all-time high and still give you a 10x. So really good opportunities with this platform. So looking at Curve, Curve is like obviously surrounded by a little bit of controversy. It's really not that far up from the bottom. It was in my buy zone, as you guys can see right here. So I bought in there. I don't have a lot of Curve. Because of the controversy, I bought less. But what I'm looking at is Curve could easily go to 125 from 58 cents. So basically double up pretty quickly. And the real opportunity is that this can go somewhere between $1.90 and $3.70. So there's the opportunity of a 5-6x. Obviously, this could go higher, but because of controversy and things that happened, we'll have to wait and see. Now, one that has the most amount of opportunity and has the lowest market cap of these is Convex Finance. Now, Convex is just about breaking up this $4.80 level. I was buying way down at $2.98. I was talking about this way back when I started buying it in January at $3. I bought it as it went back down lower. People were telling me I was crazy buying Convex. I said, nah, OG's built this great platform. It's going to come back. Then we can go on this chart and see clearly that Convex doesn't really have a ton of resistance all the way up to $30. So this could easily go 5-6x, no problem from where it currently sits. And because it's a low cap, it could go much higher this cycle because it came out a little bit late last cycle. So these are places where people can not just have a token and hold it, but you can actually use your token to make you more yield. Another one of the biggest platforms in the entire space is Frax. Now, Frax hit $50. Now, when it launched, when people were buying in, it was, and this is not showing, this is on Binance, so it doesn't show the top, but Frax basically hit $50. And the crazy thing is it was 18 cents at its seed level, right? So this is something that's been a wild success, even though it went back to $4. It started at around $4, $3 or $4. And now it's up at $8, and this could, and I think it really will go back to all-time high. So I could see this also 5xing. Now, people will say, Coach, why are you showing us stuff that only would 5x or 10x? The reason why I'm showing you guys these things is because if you don't have the blue chips, the stuff that will also make you more than the 5x by using the protocol, then you're missing out on some really simple, non-high risk gains versus going into stuff that's going to be a lot more high risk with super high APYs, etc. So we're going to show you these ones this time. And the reason why we're showing you these ones, these DeFi protocols, is because these have the lowest amount of risk with an upside that's still quite large. Another one, and I'll finish with this one, is RSR. RSR has a lot of tokens that came out last cycle. The seed round got fully distributed. There are no more tokens that are coming out for free. It's about to break out this level at 0.0033. This hit 11 cents last cycle. So just to get back to 11 cents at the top, it's 30x. RSR is probably the best of the blue chips that are out there to potentially do at least a 10x, if not 15 to 20x. So I would be looking at this one for sure if you're looking for something with a little bit more bang for its buck, for say. The last one that we'd look at is, synthetics, which is synthetic assets. You can do a lot more things with it. Again, it's only going to give you like a 6, 7, 8x potential, but it's a lot lower risk. And had you been following me way back in January and was talking about it, you would have a potential of a 15 to 20x. That's why I was talking about things early, often. Now it's still good opportunities, and we're going to look at other ones. But remember, some of these high risk, low market cap tokens can also go to zero very quickly. You can lose a lot of money. I'm trying to set you up with a good portfolio of the things that I would say are blue chips so that you have the highest upside this cycle, and then you could take 20% or 15% and go into the lower cap, higher risk ones. But then in the end of the cycle, you still want to have 10, 20x on your portfolio. And if you put everything in high risk, you're going to have some that hit really big and many that hit very low, and you're going to lose a lot of money, and you're going to make a lot of money, you're going to break even sort of. So I want to make sure that most of your portfolio is focusing on blue chips, things that are going to be here, that have been here, that aren't going to be new. And there's others in this list as well, like Maker and Nolus, and things that are on other platforms. I can't cover them all, so people are sitting at home now watching and going, well, Coach, what about this or this one? Tell me which ones. ones, tell me. Go comment right now. Tell me which ones I've missed, what projects I should be looking at. They're in the DeFi sector, whether it be a DEX, whether it be a lending platform, restaking platform, whatever. Comment below. Let me know what I've missed here. And of course, we're going to be doing other videos in the future about DeFi. And I'm going to tell you guys what my lower cap picks are, what mid cap picks are, the ones that have, that 20 to 30 to 40x opportunity, so that you guys know as well where you can take a little bit more risk and get bang for your buck.